Hi, I'm Ray Davis. You're watching A Week in Rock.
And this is Dave Davies, and you're watching The Week in Rock.
This week, Don Henley takes a musical stand against record stickering. It's a week of returns for folk popster Suzanne Vega and the other half of Wham, Andrew Ridgeley. Plus, we've got a guide to environmentally safe shopping. Hi, I'm John Norris. Welcome to the Week in Rock. The top music event in the world this week went by in this country, if not unnoticed, definitely underplayed. Monday night at Wembley Stadium outside London, some 70,000 fans saw Peter Gabriel, Tracy Chapman, and Neil Young lead a parade of artists who performed to celebrate the recent release from prison of South African freedom fighter Nelson Mandela. In fact, Mandela and his wife Winnie were there as well, so Mandela could deliver his first international speech outside of South Africa since his release. The eyes of much of the world were watching as the stirring concert was broadcast live to dozens of countries. But it got little attention in the U.S., since for some reason no American broadcast outlet saw fit to carry it. Fortunately for us, our colleagues at MTV Europe were there to file this report.
Hi, Steve Blame here with MTV News. Well, despite the rain, the Nelson Mandela concert in London's Wembley Stadium was truly a success. 72,000 people packed into the stadium to enjoy the atmosphere. 1 billion people watch it worldwide, but really the highlight of the whole day was when Nelson Mandela himself came onto stage.
It is a great honor to have had my name used by you to pay tribute to the oppressed people of South Africa in their struggle for freedom.
I think he wants to thank the people of Britain, people around the world, whether they're musicians or whatever, for encouraging the fight and the struggle. We know what's going on.
Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper.
Well, I think we're not here to preach, we're just here to provide information in a lot of ways. I mean, first and foremost, I think we're still entertainers, but I think for many artists, they feel really shallow if they don't reflect something of what they see around them and their feelings about the world.
To take advantage of this occasion to extend our special thanks to the artists of the world who have for many years lent their talents to the common effort to end the apartheid system.
Looks like it was quite a night. Well, a considerably smaller, though similarly enthusiastic crowd of 10,000 turned out in Missouri recently for a Right to Rock rally protesting the current nationwide push for mandatory record stickering. While over a dozen state legislatures have recently dropped proposed stickering bills after the record industry agreed to devise its own voluntary stickering plan, Missouri is still one of 4 hardline states whose bill is under consideration. That's what brought Don Henley, Alana Miles, Don Johnson, and several DJs and politicians to St. Louis to decry the proposed stickering laws and to stand up for freedom of speech.
what to say or what to hear. I find it appalling that a lawmaker in America, i.e. Jean Dixon or anyone who is supportive of the bill that she introduced that, as Rick Bayless mentioned, recently died in committee but could sneak back into the House of Representatives of the state of Missouri. I find it appalling that a lawmaker in this country can think that labeling of records by the government is not censorship.
Forgiveness, even if she don't love me anymore.
Now, you know I'm no authority on rock music, but it seems to me that this current outrage against rock is a lot like it was 30 years ago, and when this kind of music first came about.
I've never bought an album before I knew what it was about anyway. Why would you go to a record store and buy an album if you didn't know what was on it?
It's not up to them. It's up to us. What we listen to.
There's no point to it. To make it illegal for kids, minors, to buy music like that, they say it's not censorship, but it is.
All the recording labels will do is explain what is in some of these recordings. It's not much different than what we're doing with the movies already with the rating system.
But the difference is that the movies, the people who make those movies regulate themselves. There's no government interference there, correct?
That may be true, but still the object is that there is a rating system that is established, and this is what we're asking of the labeling system, that we know as parents what is on some of these records.
Just don't let the government make up your mind for you. You decide what you want to listen to.
What we listen to is what we're going to listen to. And whatever they say, they can't stop us. We're going to go to a friend's house, or we're going to go to a dance club, and we're going to listen to it no matter what they say.
So there. Well, besides Missouri, state legislatures in Florida, Pennsylvania, and Delaware are still considering record stickering bills on which they plan to vote within a month. Well, 26 years after virtually creating hard rock with their classic You Really Got Me, the Kinks continue as one of rock and roll's most enduring and perplexing bands. How so perplexing? Well, the latest Kinks album, UK Jive, hasn't sold very well. But it has produced a hit of sorts with the Commission of the European Community, which at the end of 1992 will forge an unprecedented economic and cultural union among Western European countries. The European Community Commission has unofficially adopted the song Down All the Days from UK Jive as its anthem, which is somewhat ironic since Ray Davies has always been known as a champion of very English styles and values.
This could be good for us because Britain, has lost its empire, and all my songs have got an theme of Commonwealth empire. And we've lost that, unfortunately. And all we've got is a cricket team, which is doing very well. It's beating the West Indies. But apart from cricket, we haven't got a whole lot happening. It's a very optimistic song, which is a change for me. So people always accuse me of writing depressing songs. Is there a salad dressing on that? Hello? No dressing, unless it's oil and vinegar.
The Kinks have gone from 60s chart toppers to 70s cult favorites to 80s chart toppers to 90s cult favorites. And although they may now be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, their record sales and their bank accounts are a lot smaller than those of their fellow Hall of Famers and British invaders, The Who and the Rolling Stones.
If I wanted to structure my life and mirror the success of the Rolling Stones and The Who, I'd just be walking around in an Armani suit, or I'd be walking around in a designer suit, and my tours would be sponsored by beer companies. And I just want to drink beer, I don't want to be sponsored by it. I think I sponsor it. But they're a wonderful rock band. But there are nights when I think the Kinks have actually been better.
But there is one constant in the Kinks' career, the often volatile relationship between Ray Davies and his younger brother, guitarist Dave Davies. After 27 years in a band, they're still one of the least harmonious couples in rock and roll.
Towards the end of making UK Jive, the album, it was like, two 40-year-old-ish men actually having fist fights in the studio. It's a bit You know, I thought that we would never do that again. If we have an argument or things aren't going well, we don't really make up, except in some sort of subtle way. And after those moments, sometimes there's a bit of magic in music.
And the Kinks plan to become the next rock act to bring their show to Broadway. Later this year, they will stage a show that will celebrate their long, loud, and curious history.
You know, there's a lot of worse places to be than to be in part of the Kinks with quite a fiery relationship with a brother. There's a lot of worse places to be in the world.
Well, until that Broadway run is set, the Kinks are on a tour of U.S. colleges. On Monday night, they'll play Westminster College in New Wellington, Pennsylvania. Well, Suzanne Vega and Andrew Ridgeley, they don't have much in common, except for the fact that they've each returned to the musical spotlight this week, and we'll tell you about each of them right after this. Plus, you'll meet one of the more curious new characters in the world of rap, MC 900-Foot Jesus.